Hello and welcome back to Formula G, the Formula E inspired Super Formula race series. This is round 3. We are at Tokyo Expressway East Inner Loop, and it's a nice dry tunnel we're starting in, but believe me, once we're out of this tunnel it's going to be wet. It's quite a small field, only 7 drivers dared to brave the rain. This is a 40-minute timed race and the drivers have got barely enough fuel to make to the end. As always, pitting is prohibited. There's a strong showing from Team Brit. They're looking to dominate this series, but will they? Is this their race to win? We know that Tweetman is very fast. There he is as we go out into the rain. Tweetman in second, chasing him down. Brian Basil there in first. Oh, Tweetman there trying to go for an early move. He wants some clear track ahead of him. Everybody else out very, very wide, caught out by that hairpin, where it's very slippery. Can Tweetman scamper away though? It looks like he's got a fight on his hands. These drivers, of course, have the overtake button available to them, but it's a long race, 40 minutes. You want to be saving that overtake button, especially until you figure out where the grip is. And they also need to be saving fuel. A real tussle for the lead. Both drivers getting their elbows out and into each other. Calm down, chaps. It's a long way to go. We have Asher Silver there, briefly to second. Grandpa right at the back because grandpas are slow and old. Or are they old and slow? I'm not sure. Sophie out wide there. It looks like Sophie picked up a penalty. No, it wasn't Sophie. It was Yvonne. Yvonne picked up a penalty. So that was for a collision with the wall. Don't be too pleased with that. Up ahead, Tweetman started to stretch his legs. So Tweetman is off on his merry way, as we are very used to seeing. And then it's an E-Team Brit train all the way back to John Boy in 5th. Hopefully John Boy's going to be doing a little bit more fuel saving than usual today, so he can score lots of points. There's plenty of points on offer when there's only 7 cars in the field. Look at them, we've got 2 more E-Team Brit cars before the Grandpa Mobile, so real showing there. Tweetman finishes his first lap. It's around a 2 minute. Remember, we've got to have the acceleration factored in with that as well. So 40-minute race, 2 minute laps, looking at about 20 laps overall. And this is a real gaggle midfield. John Boy goes up into second, but look, when they arrive at the hairpin, there's no grip whatsoever down here, and everybody's just all over the place. So it's always too early to predict these races at the start, even if somebody's scampering away. We saw in the first race that Melty scampered away and it ended badly for him. Somebody was out wider. That was Yvonne. Yvonne's car skitting around all over the place. Looks like she's really struggling to get the power down. These cars are very light and have a lot of horsepower, so when the cars are going slowly and don't have too much aerodynamic influence, they really can struggle. Even the dry, you can spin these out. Out towards the front there, John Boy trying to make a play to get into second place. Or is he? Is he just conserving fuel? Drivers have to know that Tweetman is just scampering away at the front of the field. Asher there coming back. Asher we've seen not having the best fuel saving, so there's another driver who's going to be very, very keenly watching the fuel gauge and doing the maths. We can do that as well. Down the bottom left there, you see we've got W for wet on the tyres. They're not going to be changed, they won't need to be changed. And just to the right of the tyres, we've got the fuel gauge. It's a 40-minute race, so you could theoretically split the fuel gauge into the 4 component parts it's in. John Boy here hanging on in 4th, out of the slipstream though. Is he just cruising along, saving fuel? Not too worried about being pulled along by the cars in front. That would seem like a safe bet. Speaking of cars in front, Tweetman looking for grip anywhere he can find it in that car. Maybe even having some issues with the grip on the rear axle as he's accelerating. Oh, gonna drive him sideways. That's one of the team brick cars. So that's very unlucky down to the back, but there is a certain amount of boost. Will help to bring him back into play, and also damages only on light. So that damages the front end aero, and front right wheel will go off. It really is that easy to spin it coming out of that hairpin. Asher and Sophie here giving chase to Tweetman up ahead. Don't be over consuming that fuel. And at 10 minutes into the race, we'll have a good look at everybody's fuel, see if we can figure out the strategies. What would your strategy be? Would you be fast at the start? Fast at the end? Consistent all the way through? Let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already watched the other Formula G races, I'll urge you to do so. They're on this playlist. Okay, settle down. It looks like there's no real orders at E-Team Brit because they're definitely fighting amongst one another. That'll be a relief to everybody. We have seen a certain amount of bump drafting in this series. It shouldn't really be allowed, but it is because it was never put in the rules as being disallowed. You can see John Boy there in a bump Sophie through so that he can get past Asher as well. And the cars go back into the dry area. Tweetman has just checked out. There's no point even seeing what he's doing because he's just off in the distance there doing it all by himself. And then the entire rest of the pack is just here in this one shot. So Tweetman there with a very interesting strategy. The get the hell out of Dodge strategy. You can get caught up fighting when you're in the midfield. And that fighting can really slow you down. And of course you can use up a lot of fuel when you're fighting. Once again, E-Team Brit cars together. It's hard to not see them together since the E-Team Brit cars are almost half the field here today. I guess they're the bravest in the rain. Oh, you can see Asher here on the overtake button, trying to catch up to Sophie, or trying to defend from John Boy. But it's too early for that. You really want to be using the overtake button towards the end of the race to break away from the pack. A little bit of lag there, sorry about that. That's it's just something the replays record. Even when somebody lags, the replay records it. Pity it doesn't just smooth them out. Never mind. Sophie's now breaking away from the pack. Can Sophie catch up to Tweetman? Although he has broken away from the pack, he's not that far ahead. You just see him around this corner. So Sophie, maybe with a good shot of giving Tweetman a real battle here. Watch this space. Further back, we've got Asher in third, John Boy fourth, Brian Battle fifth, Yvonne is sixth, and then the Grandpa Mobile, as always, at the back. Making sure everyone's having a good time. And I think they were. This is a pretty popular series. We got really good feedback from it, and I'm pretty sure that after this this season is over, we might do this again in GT7. Of dynamic weather there, so be on the lookout for that. Is this Sophie catching up while fuel saving? She's still not using the overtake button. In about a minute we'll check, but I think, you know, Sophie is fuel saving but still catching, so that's great pace from her. Amazing work. We could have a first place battle on our hands in a couple of laps. Don't go anywhere. What's happening back here? Asher there with a big penalty. I think that's more than one impact or one very hefty impact. So even though Asher's going purple, that's not good. Yvonne in fourth, holding off Brian Basil and John Boy. John Boy's consumed quite a bit of fuel, but it's going off. And the Grandpa car at the back still. So let's go back to this battle at the front because this is developing. It looks as though Sophie's looking for that slipstream. And the slipstream in these cars is very strong, very powerful. Of course, when you've got the engine turned down as well, to save fuel, a slipstream can really make a big difference. If you have that, was Sophie's best lap yet. She's definitely catching, isn't she? That was a 1:58.4. We jump ahead, 1:58.9 for Tweetman. So that gap coming down by half a second there. This very, very technical hairpin can really catch you out. You don't take it too tight in the rain, because catching that inside curb with your rear wheel is just a recipe for disaster. Believe me, I have been there. Okay, I think we just is Tweetman picking up the pace? He is. Tweetman going purple at this point now. So Sophie's really got a work cut out for her. But is she forcing Tweetman to burn more fuel? He's all right on fuel at the moment, but has he got enough to make it to the end? See, so Tweetman 1:57.7, Sophie 1:57.6. Wow, this battle is on. There's plenty of race left for it to happen. Sophie's still looking for a sniff of Tweetman's slipstream. When she gets it, it looks like Tweetman will have a real issue on his hands. Just be careful on that curb. Bad things happen on that curb. Speaking of which, somebody's around. Who is it? Oh, it's John Boy. He's gone around on the curb, so John Boy now put a long way back. Oh, and a penalty for tapping the wall as well. What a disaster for John Boy. It's still early days, he's got time to catch up. And he can take his time catching up as well, without having to burn too much fuel. Back to Sophie. She's not looking that close to Tweetman on this lap. I think she was slow out of the hairpin. To be fair, yeah, she's looking a long way back. So Tweetman there with a little bit of a reprieve. I don't think he's going to be setting the timing board on fire with this particular lap, but he doesn't need to. Just needs to keep on going, keep on doing these times, being consistent. You can see on the right he's faster almost every lap. But this lap, over a second down, so he's managing that gap back to Sophie. He's seen that Sophie's had some sort of issue, backed off to save extra fuel. He's only just hit 75% fuel actually, so Sophie as well. So these two well on target with their fuel. Both of them losing about the same amount of time that lap. So very, very cagey, very, very good. This is going to be very interesting to watch as the race develops. Of course, this first hairpin, this is one to watch. We've just seen from John Boy that anything can and does happen here. Tweetman a little bit sideways. Oh, Sophie, good out there. I think she may have made up a tenth or two there. And at the back of the field, John Boy has caught up to the pack. He's just about to get onto that slipstream train now, so that's good for John Boy. Back in the race. Not too much of a disadvantage. Bravo. Oh, that's very unlucky. We're robbed of a battle. And it looks like there may even have been contact there with Asher. Sophie get absolutely munched there into the last sector. Oh, like I said earlier, once you're in that pack, you're racing. Once you're racing, you're losing time. Sophie very aggressive with her blocking. I think she's very annoyed at herself for that incident. And it is easy to start kicking yourself when you make those mistakes. Oh, unlucky. Oh, she's tumbling down the order now, Sophie. Down to 6th. And and briefly last. Back towards the front. Asher is on the move. Asher now starting to push forward. Asher's broken away from the pack. Back here. And Asher's all the way up here, so it looks like this could be a pushed challenge for the lead. Asher has to be very, very careful not to overconsume though. Overconsumption is a real killer in this series. And it could just flat out cost you a race. Asher seems to have slowed down though, so I think this may have just been a bit to break away from the pack. Sometimes it is good just to get out of that pack, get a little bit of free air. You have to balance that out, of course, with slipstreaming as well to save fuel. You have to weigh up your priorities. Back end of that car, very, very slidey for Asher. She did very well to control that. More Tweetman just up ahead. Sunday drive for him. Very dominant. Is he going to be dubbed the Rain Master? We shall see. He's certainly the fuel saving master. Still with about 70% of fuel left. Despite the fact we're almost at the halfway stage. Like Asher, who's really consuming high to catch up. This seems like a little bit early to bolt. But, you know, what can you do? You've got to somehow find a way to get on terms with Tweetman. Otherwise, he's just going to run away with it. Clearly that the pack are just tripping over each other. Asher's made the decision. These two are actually quite looking close. This could be a real challenge. We're at the halfway stage in the race, and Asher's at the halfway stage of her fuel. So this could be a little bit sketchy. Maybe it's time to think about slowing down. Tweetman, lots of fuel, lots of space. This is a very Michael Schumacher-esque drive in these single-seaters. Asher still looking for that slipstream. I'm sure she'd like to get on the back of Tweetman and just sit there and save fuel. But we shall see. It's not that much of a gap. That's not a lot at all. Tweetman 3 seconds off his previous best, so he's really easing off. He's definitely trying to save fuel, obviously going for a late burn. Asher hunting down Tweetman. And this looks like the closest they've been to the entire race. Perhaps the closest anybody's been to Tweetman for quite some time. Asher's definitely got to be feeling that slipstream now, especially if she's going to be this close when they get to the main straight. The battle could still be on. The battle we were denied when Sophie accidentally caught the wall. Pushing just a little bit too hard to try and catch Tweetman, but these two very, very close now. This is where the action's at. Is this going to be a sit behind and save fuel, or is this going to be a challenge for the lead? Asher using plenty of revs there in fourth and fifth. Making everything possible out of that car. Don't want to use all your fuel. What's the strategy here? I think the strategy is sit behind Tweetman and save fuel. And that is a good strategy. A little bit of an overspeed there. Oh no, Asher going for the lead. That seems a little bit kamikaze with so little fuel. But maybe it's going to work. Is this time for Asher to win? It would be great to see it, but oh, Asher going sideways. Oh, Tweetman there, completely sideways as he puts power down. Is he in danger of being swallowed by the pack? Yvonne and Sophie seem to be fighting for for the honour of pouncing on Tweetman, who's going to have to really skedaddle. Unless he wants to be the meat in an ETB sandwich. There is that sandwich approaching. I could go for a sandwich right now. How about you? What's your favourite sandwich toppings? Let us know down in the comments now. Don't bother, unless you really want to. Tweetman, it seems, coming back at Asher. Managed to break away from Yvonne and Sophie. Okay, trying to make sure that there's no ETB 123 today. Up ahead, Asher's still burning a lot of fuel. I think she's just inside the fuel window. But it's going to be very tight, especially if at some point towards the end of the race, Tweetman uses extra fuel to go for a big major burn. But the whole field seems to have caught up here. Everyone's much closer than they were, so this isn't over. That dominant lead Tweetman had is gone. This race could still be anybody's, but right now, if it finished like this, we'd have a whole new winner. Not just a new winner in Formula G, but a new winner in the whole Discord server. So that's great. Love to see it. And who doesn't remember their first win? If you haven't had your first win yet, don't worry. It'll come, and you will remember it. Meanwhile, Sophie and Yvonne have inverted. Seeing if Sophie's got any more speed than Yvonne at this stage of the race. She's certainly very close to Tweetman, and that's her fastest first sector, so she's motoring. Tweetman 1.3 seconds on his faster than his fastest lap. He's really shifting now and trying to get back on terms with Asher. You can see how much time he's made up. He's already dropped Sophie in third and about to go for the lead. Or is he going to bump draft? No, he's going straight for the lead. It looks as though Asher has backed off to save fuel. Tweetman says, thank you very much. I'll have my lead back. You've done your bit. Can Asher make it to the end? I think this is going to be some serious fuel saving now from the current lead ETB car. Sorry, there's 4 ETB cars in this race. I thought there were 3. Wow, so really hedging their bets. One of them in the lead. In the lead at the moment is this man, Tweetman, who has dominated this race, except for one brief stint in second place. Even briefer stint in second place there. So Asher's still on the attack. Very, very brave. Back end of those cars sliding around all over the place as the drivers put the power down. And Asher goes for the lead. Side by side. Asher has the inside of the next corner as they go through this twisty S-like section. Very, very difficult to pass through here unless you're already alongside. And this is costing Tweetman time. Could it be that Asher knows that she hasn't got the fuel to win? And Asher's going to try and back up Tweetman into the pack? That would be a good strategy. Tweetman's car looking very aggressive. He knows he's in trouble. The entire pack is thundering up behind him. He's got to get past Asher and get away as quickly as he can. The only hope now is that perhaps Asher can get in the way, but no, she's come back at him. A change to the lead again. Oh, this time too fast, too much speed carried into that corner. Asher slides into the wall, picks up a penalty. Oh, that's not what you want to see. Tweetman then looking at the back of Asher's car and saving fuel, judging by the revs. Well, that wouldn't indicate he was at full throttle. So, I don't know. I do not know. It won't be an issue for Ash to burn off that particular penalty because in the rain, you do spend a lot of time off the throttle. You know, panicking. I'll look out for the Grandpa Mobile, which has just popped up into third. I don't think there's any particular reason for that, it just appeared there. But there it is. and back down the order again. So Asher served about half a second of that penalty. Tweetman scooting away. You'd have thought by now Asher would have let her teammates past, because that is far less than 10 minutes fuel in that particular car, and there are 10 minutes left of this race to go. Plus, of course, any time extra for the final lap. So, is this all a ruse to push Tweetman to burn off all his fuel? Your guess is as good as mine, but he's definitely got a lot of fuel left. I'd like to think that had Melty been here, this might have been a battle at the front with the two of them. Hopefully we'll see Melty again later in this series. But Asher now being dropped by Tweetman. He's so good in these conditions on this track. Can anybody get on terms with him? Around 6 minutes left, and Asher is fading. That car very, very nearly out of fuel. Look at John Boy. His overtake is almost gone. Got just a second or two overtake left. So everybody now starting to use the resources on to catch up. We've got purple lap times coming in. So this is the push. This is the push to catch up with Tweetman. It's the Grandpa Mobile leading the charge, but there's a long way to charge up to Tweetman. He's using his overtake button now to get away. Tweetman knows that these are the times, and if you don't get away, you get swallowed. But he saved his fuel, he saved his overtake. It looks like this could be in the bag. John Boy saved plenty of fuel until his little incident. Has he got enough fuel to really push? It looks like he has. So he's moving on up as well. Asher's still with the crowd, but should Asher be thinking about backing off now, perhaps? Second place car is the Grandpa car, which saved a lot of fuel and can push hard all the way to the end. And we've got Sophie in third. Asher, who's in trouble with fuel, in fourth. Yvonne in fifth, Brian Bassel in sixth, and John Boy, who's okay on fuel, but he's completely out of overtake. Anybody else out of overtake? Let's have a look. Here's Yvonne's corner, Brian Bassel there out of overtake. So not everybody can use that facility anymore. Sophie hasn't touched it, perhaps hasn't got it mapped. Grandpa car definitely has it mapped. What more can we say about this man? It's just been such a great race for him. There's 3 minutes left, so that's 2 laps of racing remaining. Lots of fuel left, lots of overtake left. All he has to do now is bring it home. He's back into the tunnel. We're going to get to see what his lap times are like now. 1:51.3. Absolutely pushing it, but he's not the fastest man on track. He's certainly a man on the move. Grandpa car there, 1:53.8, so about half a second slower. Trying to catch up, but not succeeding at the moment. We need a name for this chicane. It's called the chicane of doom or something. Oh, and there is doom. It's a spin as Tweetman put the power down. They've not used that higher engine mode. And a penalty to boot. So Tweetman down to second. He's got to get that car going now, and that's easier said than done. You can see the traction control struggling to get the car moving from a standing start on the wet track, and Tweetman suddenly finds himself last, having been first for almost the entire race. It's the Grandpa Mobile in the lead. There's a shocker for you. Second place, Asher. Well, I think Asher's about to run out of fuel. Oh, Asher runs out of fuel and blocks Yvonne. But that was intentional. Ash did get off the racing line as the fuel went, but Yvonne was there as well. So what's the fallout from that? That shuffled the pack. John Boy in 5th. Peterman's made his way up to 4th. We've got Yvonne in 3rd. She's chasing down Sophie in 2nd. Tweetman was up very wide there. The Tweetman shuffled to the back. Oh, Brian Basil there. Into the wall. Ash has definitely run out of fuel. That's Ash's challenge over. And we've got one more lap of racing after this. Grandpa car on the overtake to get those revs right up. All the speed you possibly ask for. Sophie in 2nd. Yvonne 3rd. And Tweetman going for the move on Yvonne. Can't quite make it work. Yvonne has full overtake, so perhaps Yvonne hasn't got overtake mapped either. Tweetman now looking a bit iffy on fuel. I think he's got enough. I think he'll make that. Can he get up the inside of Yvonne through the hairpin? Oh, a little bit of a lag issue there, but nothing too bad. There was a lot of adjusting. Sophie down to 4th, Yvonne up to 2nd. Could be looking at the battle for the best of the rest at the moment. Tweetman almost out of overtake. You can see his halo's gone red. And, well, disaster for Tweetman. Can he get that 2nd place back at least? He's pushing hard, but at this point in the race, everyone's pushing hard, except for Asher, who's moving quite slowly. And with Asher, I think she's about to cross the line. There she is, something like 50 miles per hour. Meanwhile, going into the final corner, unexpectedly, it's the Grandpa car. Just a little bit of overtake left. Why not just use it? Power that car all the way to the finish line. Well, it wasn't pure speed, it was strategy that got this win done. And there it is. Grandpa for the win. Tweetman managed to get back into 2nd place. Can he hold it from Yvonne? Just. Sophie 4th, Brian Basil 5th, and John Boy out of fuel. Unlucky John Boy in 6th. Hope you enjoyed the race. Let's take a look at the points. And I hope you'll join us again for the next race as well. There are going to be 3 more races in this league. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be full of action. Thank you very much to you, and thank you to my Discord for being amazing. And until next time, be good to yourself, be good to those around you. Bye-bye for now.